The Great Pyramids have been one of the greatest mysteries we've ever had. Why are they there? Are they really a tomb? Or is it technology that's lost to us? In this video, I'm going to focus on the technology aspect of this whole thing. This is a model put together to represent what they believe the structures are underneath the pyramids. These are the actual pictures of what the scientists found. They are represented by a rod that goes down under the ground and what looks to be a coil of wire or a spring going down around it. However, it just looks like charge separation here. This is a representation of charge separation with plasma and magnets. We put the high voltage in, plasma comes out, and it separates in layers. Higher density and lower density. By putting them side by side, you can see the images are a better fit. However, to come to this conclusion, you must also understand that the pyramids are still active. As I searched through patents and files, I came across only one thing that could even come close to matching what's going on here. This is a representation of Wardenclyffe Tower. I want you to focus on the center. There's a rod going straight through the Tesla coil, which is the Wardenclyffe Tower, goes straight into the ground and into the water table. As you see them side by side, the technology starts to make sense. On the left is the Wardenclyffe Tower. We see the rod going into the water table. On the right, you see the Pyramid of Egypt, and you see the rods going into the water table. You also see the things on top that look like resonators. This is a representation of the flow patterns of energy. Energy has been taken from the sky itself and drawn into the pyramidal structure and then into the water table. As you can see on the far right, we have a pyramid. The energy flows in and out. As we can see the Wardenclyffe Tower, it does the exact same thing. The image on the left is a representation of a home version of the same thing. It's built to work in a lab, but it ultimately flows the energy in the same way. If you want to understand this better, look up Nikola Tesla's patent on radiant energy. The lines on the top going from left and right represent the energy in our atmosphere. As you can see, there's a flow pattern developing down to the structure itself, but we can also see a flow pattern developing from the bottom all the way to the center. As the two flows meet, it's creating what looks like a tornado structure or a vortex on the top. This is an image taken of a pyramidal structure. It shows the energy in the atmosphere. It also shows the energy in the ground vortexing. It also shows the shape in the center. It looks again like charge separation. This is the type of energy that we're dealing with and the flow patterns in the Great Pyramid. Going back to the model, we can see a representation of cavernous structures underneath the rods. We see in Wardenclyffe Tower, it also has cavernous structures underneath. In my opinion, this is where the water flows in and gets charged by the energy coming in from the atmosphere and underneath. Nikola Tesla was fascinated with the Great Pyramid of Egypt. He also had some inside knowledge of how it worked. How else would he have come up with a Wardenclyffe Tower that mimics it so perfectly with energy patterns? Alright, I'm setting up for a really cool experiment right now. We're going to do the verification on the sand and the water and the cold electricity going through it. So, we have our oscilloscope set up right here. We have our power source, our ZVS, our Tesla coil. We have our rod down the center. And we have our rodent coil set up. Now, at this point, all we need to do is look at what we need. So I have just simple water here, some wire connectors. I have the light bulb, and I have the bowl here. Now, this right here just has two little pieces of copper on it, basically just to be able to connect the electrode to. And then we have some all-purpose sand here from Home Depot. So I'm going to put the sand in here, and then I'm going to connect this thing all up. So as you can see, we just have our two electrodes here. We move the sand out of the way. Now, we're going to take our light bulb here, and I simply want to connect this in here to the light bulb here. That's the only connection we're going to have on that. And then let's connect up our rodent coil now. Put our water aside. And we'll just connect this right here to the other side. Not a big deal. We're going right through sand. We have our water put to the side for now. And we're going to go ahead and start this thing up. Now, for our safety here, we'll turn on our thing. We're at 12 volts right now. And then we're going to turn on our ZVS here. We can see right now we're resonating 429 to 431, so it's not bad. Again, it just goes through the rodent coil in order to smooth out the signal so that it does not push back on our Tesla coil. Now, we can see right here that we're conducting a little bit. Now, I'm going to turn off the lights real quick for this next part and just show you what happens. Okay. Let's check for energy here. We have just a little bit in it. Again, we're at 12 volts. So let's see what happens when I pour the water in. Look at that. As soon as we poured the water in, the light bulb lights up even brighter. And our hand is no longer affecting the light bulb. Now let's see if we can increase this. Right now, we're resonating just fine. $426, so we're right in the ballpark of where we need to be. We are at 12 volts. Let's simply increase that. We are now at 18 volts and we picked up a lot of light. Now we're at 30 volts and it's lighting up super bright. We'll go ahead and go back down to 10 and show you the difference. Right there is at 10 volts. Right there is at 30. We can absolutely tell that the water and the sand is necessary in order to get this thing to conduct right through it. And it has no problem when turning up and down the electricity of pulling it through the system. Now that we've shown that the water can actually conduct with sand, let's change the experiment a little bit. We have this clear plastic tub. We're going to expand the experiment by putting more sand in here. Then we're going to put water in here. It's plastic where this is glass. We're going to see if it's going to affect the whole overall experiment or not. So let's fill this up with sand. Now we have plenty of sand. Give me a minute and I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of water to this. Now that we filled this thing full of water, you can see that we have plenty of sand in here. And we're just running into the plastic. There's no glass in this one. Again, there's our glass one. Here's our plastic one. We're just going to set up our light bulb now. We're going to put that just over here to the side. And we're just going to place our electrode in here. Now, we'll place this electrode here from the Tesla coil, rodent coil setup, right in. We're going to turn off our light and see exactly what we get to. Move back just a little bit so we can get a good look at our light. As we can see, nothing's lit up right now. We haven't turned it on. We are at 10 volts. As we can see, it lit right up. So let's take a look real quick. Our lights lit up. It's going through there. It's actually pushing without it even connected. That's cool. Now with it connected, it's even brighter. Let's look at our setup. We're still going through everything normal. 11.1 volts. And we're resonating at the correct frequency. So let's try this again. Seemed interesting. Let's see exactly how much this thing has in it. That's not lighting. There it goes. Now that it's lit, it'll stay lit on there. That's interesting. Let's see if it scales. Again, we saw it at 11 volts. Let's go ahead and turn it up. That right there is at 20 volts. Let's go to 30. That's even brighter. Okay, we'll go back down to 20 now. Let's see if we just can't hook in another light. Move this back a little bit. We have another light bulb here. We'll connect it. Well, it turns on right on top of it. And as you can see, once we put it in the mud, or excuse me, into the sand, lights up brighter. Just like that. Now, let's see if we can do it again. Now we have all three lit up. Seems to continue to build. Let's turn up the power. Right there, we're at 30 volts. It seems that I can put as many light bulbs in here as I want to, and it'll continue to work. So is it water? Is it the sand? Well, I can tell you the water gives you a certain value, but the sand adds to it because we're resonating the silica. So, does it matter that it's glass that it's in? And the answer is no. By putting that on top and it lighting up, it isn't as bright as it would be if you put it over glass, but it is still lit up. So, is the glass holding some capacitance in it? Yes. Yes, it is. But does it still work when you put it through the sand and the plastic? Yes, it does. So, pretty interesting experiment, and it works perfect. Here's a little bonus content for you. You see it's all lit up. We're at 14 volts. Just want you to watch. It's cold electricity. Do not try this with hot electricity. Now let's turn it up. We're at 32 volts. Let's take a look. It's interesting. There you go. You see my hands in the water. Immediately brighter when I take it out. In the experiment, I used the rod down the center of my Tesla coil. This was done in order to represent the rod going down the center of Wardenclyffe Tower. It had no attachments to anything until you plugged in the rodent coil to it and then put it into the water. Other than that, it had zero attachments to the Tesla coil itself. In this experiment, the rodent coil was used as a 1-to-1 transformer. It allowed everything to go through without dropping the frequency when you put something in the water. But as you saw my body capacitance as I put my hand in the water, it did change it slightly. The Tesla coil at Wardenclyffe Tower and the Great Pyramid of Egypt is used as a pump. It is pumping energy from one direction to the other. So far, we've seen the energy and what it does when it goes into the water. However, there's more than one benefit to this. It's actually putting frequency into the water. The frequency itself that goes in will cause transmutation in vegetation. The energy itself opens pathways in the vegetation so that they can grow faster. Where hot energy will structure the water, this type of negative radiant energy will open up those areas and allow the water to flow more freely into the plant, allowing it to grow faster. As I continue my research into ancient technology and Nikola Tesla, I can tell you this. Nikola Tesla built his Tesla coil based on the Great Pyramid of Egypt. I can also tell you that we are barely just scratching the surface of what this technology can do. I encourage everybody out there to do their own research and testing. But in my opinion, Tesla had it right. The Great Pyramids were hiding something, and now we understand exactly what it is. It's up to us to do the test so that we can prove out everything else that it'll end up doing. Thank you for watching.
The old man built. The old man built. The old man built. The old man built. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds.